Houston built the global energy industry and launched space exploration. But outside the mainstream oil headlines, a staggering concentration of black wealth has quietly conquered the Texas economy. From the Fifth Ward to the boardrooms of multi-billion-dollar private equity, these families didn't just survive the segregated South. They bought the buildings that once denied them entry. These are the 10 richest black families in Houston, featuring masterclass blueprints in global logistics, media monopolies, and a $2 billion upstream energy empire that will leave you absolutely speechless. 10. The Ojo family. While the global media frequently characterizes Texas wealth exclusively through the lens of domestic oil barons, the city is fundamentally an international financial gateway. Operating entirely below the mainstream radar, the Ojo family has established a quiet, highly lucrative real estate empire that completely redefines the immigrant economic narrative. Recognized prominently among the richest Nigerian families operating within the city, their portfolio serves as a definitive masterclass in aggressive, transnational wealth accumulation. The mechanics of building a quiet real estate empire in a highly competitive, sprawling market require immense capital discipline. Institutional property acquisition isn't just about owning a single high-rise. It is about securing vast tracts of commercial land, executing precision development, and holding those appreciating assets across multiple economic cycles. The Ojo family recognized that explosive population growth, driven by a constant influx of global professionals, created an insatiable demand for premium infrastructure. By leveraging deep international capital networks, they execute massive land acquisitions without relying on predatory domestic commercial lending. Their wealth architecture heavily utilizes the concept of the silent monopoly. While other developers eagerly chase public accolades, the Ojo family operates behind layers of highly insulated family trusts. This strategic anonymity is a tactical financial defense mechanism, allowing them to negotiate commercial acquisitions at true market value and avoiding the premium often extorted from highly visible billionaires. Their staggering success perfectly encapsulates the modern phenomenon of the global diaspora leveraging the massive economic engine of the South. They prove that true, unshakable wealth doesn't need a billboard, it just needs the property deed. 9. The Davis family. When analyzing the extreme wealth generated in the 21st century, the most lucrative sector is unquestionably the intersection of technology and healthcare. Michael B. Davis engineered a massive financial breakthrough by targeting a historically ignored multi-billion-dollar demographic. As the founder of a massive health tech company, Davis transformed a deeply personal maternal frustration into an institutional corporate juggernaut. The medical device industry is notoriously difficult to penetrate, guarded by massive regulatory hurdles and legacy monopolies. Davis bypassed these systemic barriers by innovating at the absolute bleeding edge of consumer technology. She successfully built and patented the first Black-owned wearable breast pump, fundamentally revolutionizing the modern maternal experience. This is not merely a retail product. It is highly scalable, proprietary medical technology. By identifying a glaring pain point experienced by millions of working mothers globally, she captured an immense, fiercely loyal consumer base that traditional medical manufacturers had completely overlooked. The financial valuation of wearable health tech companies frequently skyrockets into the hundreds of millions due to their massive acquisition potential. Corporate healthcare conglomerates desperately seek to buy out innovative startups that possess proprietary hardware and deep consumer data. Davis's wealth architecture is built on intellectual property ownership. She didn't just launch a brand, she created a fundamentally new technological infrastructure for women. Her inclusion among the richest Black women in the region highlights a critical evolution in wealth generation. She proves that the ultimate leverage in the modern economy is the ability to engineer a technological solution for a specific cultural demographic and scale it globally. 8. The Shelton family. To understand the rapid velocity of modern urban wealth, we must examine the architects who are fundamentally redesigning the city's residential grid. Kevin Shelton, operating as the formidable CEO of Park Street Homes, represents the new vanguard of aggressive, socially conscious real estate development. His company has surged to an impressive valuation of $20 million, achieving this massive scale through precise tactical market exploitation. Shelton's multi-million-dollar enterprise essentially launched from a highly strategic financial maneuver, utilizing an FHA loan hack to secure his initial capital foothold and leverage his way into large-scale development. Rather than fleeing to the affluent, saturated suburbs, Shelton focused on a highly lucrative mission of revolutionizing the urban core. In a sprawling, decentralized metropolis where gentrification frequently displaces legacy communities, Shelton operates as an economic counterforce. He builds premium, modern housing within historically minority neighborhoods, capturing the massive demographic of upwardly mobile professionals who are returning to the city center. Furthermore, he has transformed his corporate success into a formidable cultural movement, establishing the Black Men Buy Houses initiative to actively advocate for minorities to purchase real estate and aggressively close the wealth gap. The psychological brilliance of the Shelton family's wealth lies in their ability to monetize community stabilization. By treating the urban core as a premium asset class rather than a distressed zone, they secure highly favorable land acquisitions before institutional developers recognize the value. Working closely with his wife, whom he openly credits as the real boss of their vast operations, Shelton expertly navigates complex supply chain headwinds and international tariffs to successfully scale a family-owned construction enterprise. The $20 million valuation of Park Street Homes is merely the opening chapter. They are actively building the physical environments where future generations of the local elite will reside. 7. The Roby family. Before the modern era of billion-dollar hip-hop moguls and digitally streamlined entertainment empires, the definitive blueprint for absolute black cultural monopoly in the South was drafted in the 1940s by Don Roby. Operating out of the historically significant Fifth Ward, Roby did not merely participate in the music industry. He commanded it with an iron fist, running the largest black-owned business in the United States during the deeply segregated era of the 1940s, 1950s, and 1960s. The Roby family's wealth architecture was built on extreme vertical integration. He founded the Bronze Peacock Dinner Club, which rapidly became renowned as arguably the most sophisticated African-American owned and operated nightclub in the entire southern United States. He did not stop at simply hosting the talent. Roby launched the Buffalo Booking Agency, which allowed him to dictate the touring schedules, secure high-stakes engagements, and ultimately control the revenue streams of prominent African-American artists across the country. He further expanded his nightlife monopoly by establishing the Harlem Grill, a massive venue that consistently attracted high-profile patrons and generated immense, unceasing cash flow. Roby recognized early on that relying on established white-owned record labels to distribute art was a catastrophic financial bottleneck. By launching his own record labels, he seized the master recordings and publishing rights of his artists. In an era where systemic racism explicitly barred minority entrepreneurs from traditional banking and corporate infrastructure, Don Roby built a self-sustaining, multi-million-dollar ecosystem. He financed the talent, hosted the performances, booked the national tours, and distributed the records, ensuring that every single dollar generated by the culture flowed directly back into his community. His legacy is the absolute foundation of independent entertainment wealth. 6. The Singleterry family. Generational wealth is frequently forged in the fires of profound societal disrespect. James. Singleterry's ascent to becoming one of the first documented black millionaires in his region is a narrative of ultimate, unyielding financial retaliation. In his early 20s, working as a cab driver during the height of segregation, Singleterry was explicitly forbidden from parking his taxi in front of the luxurious William Penn Hotel at the corner of Texas and La Branch. Rather than accepting this indignity, he utilized his downtime in the cab to aggressively study commercial real estate, eventually securing his broker's license and executing massive land deals on the north side. Singleterry's initial wealth accumulation strategy involved brokering residential properties, carefully stacking his commissions to enter the elite commercial sector. His first major institutional acquisition was the downtown Brazos Hotel. After successfully flipping this asset, Singleterry executed one of the most legendary power moves in the history of local real estate. He purchased the exact same William Penn Hotel that had once banished him from its curbside. Although local newspapers characterized the multi-million-dollar acquisition as an act of pure retaliation, Singleterry maintained it was simply superior business acumen. He eventually sold the hotel to a highly prominent developer, securing a massive liquidity event. His financial empire rapidly diversified far beyond hospitality. Singleterry acquired 7 different hotels and motels and established the Singleterry Bus Company, successfully securing a highly lucrative, exclusive government contract to transport construction workers to the South Texas nuclear power plant every single day. Furthermore, he owned the legendary Magnavox Club, providing safe premium lodging for iconic artists like Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, and Sam Cooke when racist city policies denied them downtown accommodations. By monopolizing the essential services denied to his community, Singleterry engineered a towering financial fortress. 5. The Wesley family. To completely understand the foundational pillars of the local corporate elite, one must examine the immense legacy of Carter Walker Wesley. Growing up in Freedmanstown, the earliest and most prosperous black neighborhood in the city, Wesley established a financial blueprint rooted in intellectual dominance and sovereign media control. After graduating magna cum laude from Fisk University and earning his law degree from Northwestern, Wesley returned home in 1927, recognizing that legal expertise was the ultimate weapon for institutional asset protection. In 1930, there were only 21 black lawyers practicing in the entire state of Texas. Wesley, alongside his partners, leveraged this extreme scarcity to build a highly lucrative, monopolistic legal practice. However, he understood that exchanging hours for legal fees would never generate true, multi-generational wealth. He aggressively deployed his legal capital into hard assets, heavily investing in local construction businesses and sprawling real estate portfolios. His most significant and transformative financial maneuver was acquiring a controlling interest in the local African-American newspaper, The Informer. Under Wesley's ruthless executive leadership, the publication evolved from a simple community newsletter into a massive corporate entity. By 1945, The Informer was officially the largest black-owned business in the city, dwarfing all others in both gross income and total employees. Wesley utilized the newspaper not just as a revenue generator, but as a political battering ram. He successfully forced the NAACP to cease relying on white attorneys in Texas and relentlessly pushed for the integration of educational institutions, ensuring that diverse professionals had the legal runway to thrive. The Wesley family's wealth was built on the powerful intersection of legal maneuvering, real estate accumulation, and absolute media sovereignty. 4. The Prince family. In the modern entertainment industry, talent is incredibly abundant, but leverage is exceedingly scarce. James Prince, universally known as J. Prince, recognized this fundamental market inefficiency and constructed an impenetrable empire based on absolute control and uncompromising respect. Operating out of the South, the Prince family did not merely start a record label. They built a leverage empire that actively dictates the movements of the global entertainment industry. As a pioneering executive, J. Prince bypassed the traditional, highly exploitative coastal recording monopolies. He proved that an independent entity could generate hundreds of millions of dollars by retaining total ownership of the master recordings and independently managing regional distribution. But his financial genius extends far beyond the confines of a recording booth. Prince utilized the massive cash flow generated by his music empire to heavily diversify into professional sports management, guiding the careers of undisputed world champions and capturing a massive percentage of international pay-per-view revenue. Furthermore, the true depth of the Prince family's wealth is anchored in massive land ownership. He transitioned from dominating the music charts to acquiring sprawling, multi-acre ranches and heavy commercial real estate across the state. Alongside other iconic local figures like Trey the Truth and Slim Thug, the Prince family operates on the core philosophy of buying back the block. They acquire distressed urban real estate, commercial strip malls, and residential properties, permanently locking diverse ownership into the city's rapidly appreciating infrastructure. J. Prince represents the ultimate evolution of the street-savvy entrepreneur transitioning into a sovereign corporate land baron. His wealth is completely insulated because he never asks the industry for a seat at the table. He owns the entire estate. 3. The Knowles family. When discussing the absolute pinnacle of global cultural and financial dominance originating from this region, the Knowles-Carter family occupies a completely untouchable stratosphere. At the center of this dynasty is Beyonce Knowles-Carter, a woman who has transcended the title of musician to become a multinational corporate entity. With an estimated net worth of $800 million that is rapidly accelerating toward 10 figures. Her financial architecture is a masterclass in global equity and brand sovereignty. The foundation of this staggering wealth was laid in the local Third Ward, but the execution occurred in the corporate boardrooms of Parkwood Entertainment. Most globally recognized entertainers sign away their creative and financial autonomy to major conglomerates. She did the exact opposite. By establishing Parkwood Entertainment, she built a vertically integrated media empire that controls every single aspect of her output, from film production and global stadium tour logistics to master recording ownership and digital streaming rights. When you control the entire supply chain of your own global demand, the profit margins expand exponentially. Her portfolio extends deeply into the highly lucrative apparel and beauty sectors. The creation of Ivy Park, followed by her highly anticipated new hair care line, demonstrates a ruthless transition from a paid brand ambassador to an outright brand owner. The family wealth is highly insulated by massive real estate acquisitions, including sprawling estates in global markets and a heavily publicized $200 million compound in Malibu. Yet, the operating principle connecting her multi-billion-dollar trajectory back to her roots is the unyielding concept of ownership. She proves that the ultimate global flex is not securing the largest corporate endorsement, but possessing the financial liquidity to dictate the terms to the corporation. 2. The Smith family. While media and entertainment generate the flashy headlines, the true, unshakable wealth of the world is managed in the quiet, heavily fortified corridors of institutional finance. Gerald B. Smith is the ultimate architect of this invisible power. As the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Smith Graham and Company Investment Advisors, Smith controls a financial empire that dictates the movements of massive global capital. To comprehend his wealth, you must understand the sheer, unfathomable scale of institutional asset management. Smith Graham and Company currently manages an astronomical $6 billion in assets. They do not deal in retail banking or simple day trading. They manage the massive financial lifelines of the economy. His firm specializes in managing global fixed income, small and mid-cap equity portfolio strategies, and mortgage and real estate debt. His client roster includes massive public funds, global corporations, multi-million-dollar university endowments, and Taft-Hartley plans. When institutional entities need to safely deploy billions of dollars to ensure long-term, multi-generational yields, they hand their capital directly to his firm. His personal corporate leverage is equally staggering. Smith serves as the lead independent director and deputy chairman of the Cooper Industries Board and acts as a trustee for Charles Schwab Mutual Funds, overseeing an incomprehensible $250 billion platform as the chairman of its Investment Oversight Committee. Establishing his firm in 1990 after serving as senior vice president for Underwood Neuhaus & Company, Smith navigated the brutal, highly exclusive world of Wall Street to build an independent financial colossus. He is the ultimate power broker, proving that the highest tier of wealth is not achieved by participating in the market, but by actively managing the market itself. 1. The Lawal family. We have arrived at the absolute summit of the financial elite. In a city globally defined by the oil and gas industry, Kase Lawal did not just break into the notoriously impenetrable energy sector. He built a sovereign empire that rivals international conglomerates. As the visionary founder of CAMAC International, Lawal is the quintessential energy titan who proved that extreme, generational wealth could be executed with absolute billion-dollar precision. Born in Ibadan, Nigeria, Lawal moved to America in 1971 and established CAMAC in 1986, initially operating as a modest agricultural trading company. However, his strategic vision was fixed entirely on the immense, untapped potential of the global energy market. Lawal engineered a brilliant, highly lucrative pivot into upstream oil and gas exploration. In 1991, he executed a historic joint venture with the massive oil giant Conoco. The brilliance of this partnership lay in leveraging assets. While Conoco possessed the liquid capital, CAMAC exclusively owned the highly coveted rights to massive blocks of exploration land in Africa. This venture alone helped pump over $500 million into Nigeria over the next decade, securing CAMAC's position as a global energy powerhouse. By taking direct control over the trading of its products, CAMAC experienced phenomenal, explosive revenue growth. The company's revenues skyrocketed from $114 million in 1999 to nearly $1 billion by 2001. By 2002, CAMAC officially smashed through the billion-dollar ceiling, and today it stands as a multi-billion-dollar oil empire generating over $2 billion a year, making it one of the largest black-owned businesses in the United States. Lawal, awarded the U.S. Africa Business Person of the Year, dictates global logistics and upstream exploration across continents. The Lawal family reigns at number 1 because they achieved the ultimate impossible feat. They entered the most capital-intensive, politically complex industry on Earth and conquered it completely. From healthcare pioneers engineering proprietary tech to an energy baron running a multi-billion-dollar global oil monopoly, these families prove that Houston's true currency is ownership. They conquered one of the world's most lucrative economies by turning extreme systemic barriers into unprecedented financial leverage. Which of these staggering Houston empires inspired you the most? Let us know in the comments below. For more cinematic deep dives into the hidden geography of elite global wealth, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Black Status.